Hello guys! Week 18, what are you doing here? In the middle of my fridge? Come on, I'm going to take you out. Guys, this week I'm going to do an interactive session. So you're going to be moving with me instead of doing the kind of static video that I normally do. Why? Because I'm going to do kind of two areas from the house, because I want to talk both about a personal and professional aspect. So I'm going to be using this kind of more dynamic version. So first thing, and this video is going to be shorter than the other ones, is that I have been working a lot on something from the last video, something that I mentioned to you, which is the control of the present moment. And I want to share this at the start of the video because I think that has been kind of revealing that the entrepreneur journey is a lot, or has a lot of ups and downs. And I think that is super hard to be controlling the anxiety of knowing that there are a lot of things you could be doing, but there's no more hours in the day. And you also need to free your mind sometimes, because if not, you are totally surpassed. And then I think that it goes even to a worse direction, which is not anxiety, but is really the burnout. And I think that the burnout for entrepreneurs doesn't exist, because at the end we always surpass it, etc. But I think that there's a moment when your brain is not being smart enough, and maybe you are coming to conclusions that are wrong only because you don't take the distance to analyze a project or a problem. And this has been kind of the exercise this last week. So from the book Start Now, the main idea I got was, and by reading it, is to be observing whatever feeling you are feeling, only to be in observation mode and don't try to control it. So this week has been a lot of times this situation where I was having kind of a misconnection or some stress, or I was feeling frustrated, or I had a good meeting and then right after I got a really bad one and I felt super confused. The only thing that I tried doing is to remember that this is the present time, that's the feeling that I was having. I was trying to add some positive context and positive thinking. If it entered my brain at that moment and my sensations, it was okay, perfect. But if it didn't, what I needed to do was only to observe what was happening and try to put a little bit of context, understanding that it's normal that I'm feeling this right now, but there are a lot of options that I will be able to unlock, and these situations that I will be able to change in the future. So I shouldn't be feeling as stressed as I am at that moment, because it's only a compilation of a lot of bad thinking that I'm having. And I think that that's also kind of the thing that I have been able to control. Okay, so that's first. The second one is going to be reasoning I want to be having with you, because I think that this part of building in public has one main idea, which is sharing the reality. So this week, and here I'm going to be moving. So this week I got a call with, I think that is one of the most important persons in the EdTech space. Here is a Spanish startup that was able to be selected in one of the YC batches. And I think that I was really looking forward for this call. And for me, it was important to be really open to the feedback that the entrepreneur was going to give me. And this is kind of the reasonings that I left with and his advices. And I want to be sharing them with you, because I think that is a situation that I was having doubts. So of course I can tell you that I have mainly the answer here inside me. But I want to put the two options in front of you, because I think that you need also to have a vision on this. So first comment he said, and he's right in everything he mentions. So first, he's totally right. So first thing, his approach is a product that targets and helps teachers, to be talking and giving exercises to the students and learning in a video kind of format. Okay, why I'm saying this? Because it has a lot of sense and also a connection of what I'm going to be mentioning later. But so his option was, Alexis, you need to be building a product that your user, which for me is the student in Drimmly, is not going to be able to live without your product. That's kind of the main focus and idea, and I totally agree with it. I think that if you give something to someone and if you threaten them about take it out or take it away, and they cannot live without, that's the moment when you know that you have really nailed the product that you needed for your user. So his approach was, Alexis, don't go to the students, because the students at the end have a disconnection with some parents, meaning sometimes the students can use Drimmly, but they won't be able to tell their parents that they are using it. So that's kind of the first approach. Go first to the orientators and the counselors, make a product that is perfect for them, that they won't be able to live without. And that if you do it in that sense, you are going to have a better experience, because you are going to be able to work with schools instead of a lot of different students. Make that product to connect orientators and also be used by the students, and your entry door is this one. Advantage, you're going to be paid by the school, therefore is much better than be having individual users. First comment. Second one, don't stay in Europe, go to the US, because the advantage you have in the US is that you have more students in each high school. You have a higher ticket, which is they are used to be paying more for the solutions that they are offering, or they're buying at least, they're buying for their students. And third, they pay you the year in advance instead of having to negotiate different payment. And an extra one, which is kind of a bonus, is, and this was kind of the conversation we had about the moment I'm in, which is founding a co-founder. And he said, first you need to be looking for someone that is in your entourage, a friend or a friend of a friend. If not, and you find someone that you trust, you should be able and willing to give them half of the company, or at least divide it in equal parts. Meaning they were 4 and they always had 25%, because for them the only way to make it work is that if someone else has more than the other one, there will be a moment when it will generate friction about who's working. I'm working 60 hours, I'm working 70 hours, and you have more equity than I do, etc., etc. I think that's kind of the problem. So this is kind of the feedback that I had. For me, it's important, and I want to put something on the table, which is kind of the reasonings I needed to go through to really nail the answer, which is, first, I've been talking with counselors and orientation guides and the people handling orientation and guidance in the schools. It's not a profile that is easy. I understand why he was saying this, because his target are teachers. You have more teachers in a classroom or in a school than orientators. You only have one counselor, or 1.5 or 2 maximum in a full school. Teachers, you have much more. They have much more power to be demanding these kind of solutions and tools towards or with the director in order to ask him to accept it. So that's first. I understand why he's making the comment, but for me, it's not that easy, because the orientator we need to have and go to the director and say, okay, I need this tool, and the director might say, yes, okay, let's think about it. It's not urgent. This is kind of the thing that I'm the most scared. Second, the profile that I find in orientator and counselors here, at least in Spain for now, I will see in other countries, is really not a young profile, and I have had some criticism about their unwillingness to be learning new tools and new tricks, because their approach is a psychological one. So for them, everything that goes towards the technological aspect is not connected to them, because they really think that is the social aspect, the question, etc. So it's an approach that I'm not buying, but this is kind of their way of thinking. So for me, it will be to target someone that is in a school, 1 or 1.5 person, someone that is not willing to learn a lot of times new technologies, that the approach of AI for them is totally on the opposite side of the psychological approach that they use. And this is one of the reasons why, for me, it cannot be my target persona. It cannot be the first person that I'm targeting and making the perfect product for them. At least this is how I'm thinking right now. I don't know if I'm going to change my opinion, but for now, I'm not buying this argument, and these are the reasons why. Second one, I think that there's something I must remember, and this is kind of the thing I want to leave you with, which is I'm starting this product and this project because I want to enjoy the way of it, enjoy the conversations with the students, the parents, the counselors, with anyone affecting the student. And if I had to follow my instinct and my gut, I will build a solution for the student because it's how I imagine it. Does it make it harder? Does it make it more expensive in terms of resources because marketing is going to be, instead of doing some phone calls and cold calling to reach the orientators of the school in B2B, to try to go to B2C is going to be more expensive in terms of marketing? Maybe. But I think that I will prefer to have this closed feedback loop and make the perfect tool for the student, taking into account that their entourage when you are under 18 is your family, family, your orientator, your teachers, your colleagues, etc., and make kind of a more interactive platform that thinking only about how much could I be making in the short term by trying to target a user that I don't feel connected with. Because I'm not an orientator. I understand if this company was built by a counselor, someone who played this role, I understand that his objective will be, I live this perspective, so I want to build the perfect tool for them because I was in their position. So it's clear for me. I understand that someone will be thinking like this, but for me, the pain point is to build a solution for students because I was one of them, not having the perfect guidance or not a guidance at all. And that was missing for me. So I need to find a way, even though it's the hardest one, to create something that nobody really has created. A lot of orientation and solutions that I see in the market and guidance tools are directed towards the school. And I think that this is kind of sometimes the problem. The school says that is looking for the best interest of students, and a lot of times in their actions, because of time and also because of willingness of people, and maybe 1 year I'm trying and the other ones I'm not even trying, they don't put their best effort. Because whenever you are 18, even though they say that yes, they track you and they do the alumni thing, etc., they are not checking if their things they told you they were really representative. They don't have an exam or someone looking that the orientation that you gave the student 5 years later, they are still something that they are doing that they weren't, that you were right guiding them towards that. Because if your option is, okay, this is how and what I'm recommending you, and then when you switch your path, the argument is, no, but that's life made you your mind, that's the reason why you deviated from the path, etc. That's kind of the general excuse, and a horrible excuse that I will hear from orientators and counselors, because I think that it doesn't make sense. What you want is not to aim for a degree. You want to really be aiming for a vocational job and making sure that this person can land their dream job and be working in their dream job, making a living thanks to the dream job, enjoying it because it's vocational for them and they have the energy to be doing this and being good at it because they like what they are doing. That's the thing that you should be tracking. If with Drimmly I'm capable of making that by tracking a student with 18, 6 or 7 or 8 years later, meaning in 2032, 33, I'm capable of checking if the dream job that we had the first time, even if it pivoted, it changed. I allow the student to really get there and he's thankful. I think that that's the best thing I could be asking for. And this is not going to be done by building the perfect tool for counselors and orientators. It's going to be by nailing the approach and the strategy for students. How could we make parents be implicated and willing to pay this tool? How can we also involve schools to be adopting this kind of solution inside their way of working with AI and being an added factor or tool for the orientator, not their platform, not a SaaS platform for them, but a tool that they could use as other ones they have, because they are going to be agnostic at first, and I know it. And that's the thing I could wish for. But my main goal and the thing that motivated me when I started this project still is the student. So I need to be targeting that and not deviating from a path that I won't feel it to. And this is kind of the thing that I want to remember, man. Guys, if sometimes your gut is saying something to you, even though the other options might seem sexier, if something fails by choosing the other one, you won't be able to live with it. But if you choose the one that your gut tells you, then you are going to be able to live with it, because you knew that at that time, that was the option that your body and your whole being was telling you to do. So this is kind of the thing you need to be following, and you will be much more connected with yourself, and you will be training your gut, but giving them the option to try the things that your whole body, your story, your experience, and how your brain and your personality is made of is telling you to do. So follow your gut. That will be my recommendation, guys. I will be telling you a little bit more in the following weeks. So at least, sorry, because I think that I told you that this video was going to be shorter. It's 15 minutes, a little bit more, but see you next week, week 19. I think that we are going to be testing next week our MVP finally. So I'm going to be recording some demos, sending them to the schools I was already in conversations with, and if everything goes well, I think that we might have our first pilot starting. I need to rush this the last days before the year ends are going to be crazy. I really believe in what I'm doing, so I'm going to try to nail every little step that I'm doing. And happy to be telling you the good news once they are really official. So let's keep working. Thanks for listening, guys, and see you next week. Bye bye.